Welcome back to Character Select. David Savin, Pillars of Eternity.
Inquisitor.
Theo signals some unseen attendant standing beside a large crank.
I ask again, Jovara Exensios, do you confess to these heresies of which you stand accused?
He waits, but Yovara only stares straight ahead, her face stony, the creak of her restraints the only sound.
Do you confess to apostasy?
I confess to renouncing a mistake.
Do you confess to conspiracy against the one true faith?
I confess to opening minds.
Do you confess to false prophecy?
I confess to following a false prophet.
Indeed. And where might we find this heretic?
He wears the robes of a Grand Inquisitor.
Spit in his face.
You have no followers here, heretic. Your lies hold no sway in the court of the penitents.
Only my truth, then.
Another turn.
No! Wait! I'm ready.
You are ready to give a confession?
I'm ready to hear one from you.
God damn. Theo shakes his head and points at the Inquisitor, and the scraping grind of rusted gears echoes in your mind as the apparitions fade away. So...
Looks like a long way down.
I'm confused about something. We can only see the souls of the dead, right?
So, normally, yes, but you can also see the memories of your past lives.
That's right, okay. So this isn't... We're not seeing Iovara's soul, we're seeing our memories.
Yeah.
Okay.
Specifically because this is a place your ass has been before.
Right. A great pit lies in the shadow of the statue of Wodica. No light from the surface reaches the bottom, but even so, you catch flickers of a ghostly glow in the depths. A wind from the pit buffets you. It isn't cold, but it raises goose flesh along your arms. The wind carries a whisper, low and sibilant. As you look into the pit, souls gather around you. They encase you in a cloud of essence that swirls around your body while you consider your next move. Geronimo. You jump, trusting in the promises of the gods and the power of the souls to bear you safely down. The sudden drop takes your breath away, but the souls catch you, casing you in a shining, thrumming aura. But while they slow your descent, you can still feel that you are falling faster than you should. The essence flowing around you is strong but chaotic. You find yourself drifting toward the wall. The wall, Maritsu. Take control of the souls to guide yourself to safety. Concentrating, you focus on the essence around you and knit it together in your mind. What was a jumble of souls becomes a single entity, coordinated and purposeful. It steers you to safety at the center of the pit. You manage to spread your arms and legs into an X, steadying your position in the rate of your descent. You reach the court of the penitents, millennia-old stones safely under your feet. I mean, who said the wall, Maritsu? That's what I want to know.
After what seems like an eternity, your rapid descent comes to an abrupt end. You remain still for a moment while your heart settles and your eyes adjust, breathing in stale, forgotten air. Before you, a narrow and eroded walkway becomes faintly visible in the dim light, cutting a winding path through a cavern so expansive it seems a world unto itself. In the distance, you can make out the cold gleam of living Adra veins that spike and fork in and out of view from the murky depths beneath. Their glow a faint and fleeting guide along the ancient trail. You look above at the opening you jumped through, now barely a speck of light like some distant star alone in the cosmos and forever out of reach. Your only way, lies ahead.
Should have trailed a rope.
Well, that went better than I expected.
I think I dislocated my... That's better.
Ow.
Everyone all right? No shattered knees? Good. Just me then.
Poor Ed. He's too old for this shit. Not time to fail all of your quests.
Yep. Well, no, but yes. Oh, these were just the... Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Darren, have you got anything to say, buddy? It's time to speak up.
He has nothing to say yet. Well, shit.
Missed. Wall.
Light.
I want to,
flame, and
scout.
sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
Look at you go. Well, that's convenient. What's stunning shots do? Oh, okay. You just stun people when you hit them.
Alright. I like it. When you hit them critically, anyway.
Well, it says hit or crit.
Oh.
Hey there.
That's pretty amazing.
Millennium's worth of dust fills in the cracks and crevices of the skeletal relief.
Brutal. Hello, Zomboni.
So...
Pop.
So the memory of our past life that we're seeing was 1,000 years ago?
If not more. Was during the Gwithan civilization.
And we quote-unquote know
Shall be discreet.
that Theos has been around for about 2,000 years.
Yep.
I'll teach you.
So what the hell was he doing 1,000 years ago with this whole... Like, I'm struggling to understand what his plan is because we still don't know. You know?
Mm-hmm.
How bad?
Yeah, what's he doing with all this baby juice?
And-
That's the real question.
And how does it serve his purposes?
Thing isn't doing.
Should probably focus some fire on that guy that's bullying Elle off. He is rapidly dying.
Oh, well, he can't get to him. Okay. I mean, you say he's rapidly dying. Oh, no, he's stunned. Okay, cool. Let me tell you what. How about a little bit of silent screaming? There we go.
There we go. Stop bullying Elle off, you sons of bitches.
Ta-da! But yeah, I still don't really understand what Theos' plan is.
Sure.
And I gather that's by design, but it's still... I'm just really confused. Like, our motives for chasing him down are very, very personal, but at the same time, clearly important. To something.
Yeah, I mean, you have a personal reason, and clearly Theos is doing something awful, but you have no idea what Theos is doing, and he barely even knows you're around.
Short of, hey, there was that one guy that fucked things up at the, or tried to fuck things up at the... What's this? Yeah, okay.
At the hearing,
Yeah.
but that's about the only real interaction he's had with you.
Except that he has told people to kill me multiple times. Or at least assassins have tried to kill me multiple times. I don't know if that's the same thing. But at the very least, there was that one woman in that at the bottom of the ravine that was clearly summoned by Theos, or not summoned, but working for Theos to kill me.
Yes.
So I don't necessarily know that he considers me a threat, but he definitely doesn't like the fact that I'm around.
Slowly now.
I knew it. Daybreak, a Morning Star two-handed, exceptional, 25% chance to cast Destroy Spirit on hit or critical hit.
Go.
I will take that. Hey, Ed, I got a new Spirit Buster weapon for you.
Ed's carrying a lot of garbage.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there.
Should probably just put all this stuff that's not your potions in the trash. Ed has a couple of level 1 healing potions equipped. Lol.
Yeah, well. How many times have I used potions? Like, for real?
Basically none.
Exactly. Where did that mace go? Yeah. Oh, it's two-handed? Fuck. Alright, Ed. You're now big beefy boy, let's go.
Alright.
Look at that fucking nail bat. Could beat a man to death with that nail bat. And if he's a spirit, possibly disrupt him.
That is the point of the nail bat, is to beat a man to death.
The ancient Adra still bears the impression of the 1,000 souls broken upon it. Your soul burns with remembered suffering.
Grody.
My question is, Theos clearly got his hands on Iovara. Did I end up betraying her, or because I was playing it as if I wasn't?
Yeah, you did, but
There's
you
something
did anyway.
You don't see every day.
Okay. Well, that worked out for you, I guess.
Yep.
But yeah, when you told her to go to Oceanus, originally Theos had told you to lure her to Oceanus.
Ah.
And that was the only option you had, because in the end,
You can't change what
naughty boy.
Well, in the end, you can't change what you did in a previous life.
Yep.
Which is what I've been saying the entire game. People shouldn't be held responsible for what they did in a past life.
Mm-hmm.
Show 'em how it's done.
It shouldn't be, but
They are. I don't know why I'm grabbing all this stuff. I really don't.
Hey there.
compulsion. As he continues to grab all this stuff.
Money, because I need money now.
Yeah, you need money to enchant all your gear up to the maximum level possible. Which you should do.
Fire casts light in dark places.
Actually, now that you say that.
Yeah, enchant the fuck out of that.
Legendary.
Get secondary damage.
Legendary requires 2 Kraken Eyes? I don't even know how the fuck. Do we want Burning Lash or Shocking Lash, do you think?
I'd say shocking.
Have Shocking. And now we can't do this.
Any of that shit. Nope.
Oh, because we just enchanted it to max. I thought it was 12 out of 14 meant it had 12 slots left. But I guess not. Did we enchant this one? We did not.
Don't really need to dick with that. It's... Well, I mean, it's a good sword still. Slaying Spirit, lol.
Tidefall has some options available.
Not freezing, because all the spirits down here are, like, near immune to that.
Right. I mean, it glows red already, so we might as well make it glow red better.
Yeah.
And then the Whispers of Yenwood.
Yeah, that's the one that's glowing red.
Oh, wow. Make it make sense. Not that one. This one. Uitante med principi. Nope, can't do anything with that.
I'm gonna give it freezing on it just for fun.
Yeah, no. Not worth it.
Johnny's bow. Ooh, you can upgrade its quality, actually. Hell yeah.
Exceptionnel. Although it was damage 3. So it's
exceptional is better.
yeah, it's slightly more accurate. Durance.
And don't forget Maritsu's weapon. He really needs to be using a wand. He is very squish.
Upgrade to exceptional. Yeah.
And it's almost maxed.
And I can't do anything else. Maximum enchantments reach for Elowen Ein, even though it still has... Oh, because you can only have 4 enchantments on it. Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, makes sense.
And Maritsu's bow.
Superb
you're already...
Skydragons. Yeah, nothing. It's already maxed out.
Yep.
What about this, Virina's leaves? Ooh, put something on this.
How shocking!
Oh, we're out of Barath's bell. That sucks. Alright, cool.
You're also almost out of money.
Am I? Fuck.
Only like $5,000 left.
How did that happen? Oh, hello. Excuse me a moment, folks.
Give me a real challenge.
Well, you're down here in the pit of literal death. Is that real challenge enough for you?
So far, no, not really. Far outscaled these enemies. Bonk.
The Audra Animat is actually kind of the biggest problem. And it also just healed somehow? What the fuck?
Man, Sagani just keeps fucking stunning people. That's hilarious.
It's great. I love it.
Ranger Song.
Ta-da! Ed, no. Ed, over here. Thank you.
Yeah?
See that guy on the ground? Kick the shit out of him, please. Oh my god, what the hell just happened?
Chain lightning.
Who fucking did that?
I need something.
Wow, this guy's really got it in for Sagani all of a sudden. Probably on the stunning.
I mean, I would be too if I was getting chain stunned.
Where's Palladina? Oh, she's right there. Cool. Burn this bitch. Thank you.
Show him how it's done.
Oh, I didn't realize this guy was still here.
Can't get a good. No use. I need. Show him how it's. Yeah.
I do wish that they didn't say that their weapon was ineffective if they managed to just have a point where they missed once, you know? Because it's like, oh, this weapon doesn't work, and it's like, no, it works just fine. You just really shittily rolled.
Well, no, when you hear that message, it's because the armor penetration is too low. You're doing basically minimum damage.
Them violins, though. Alright, this looks important.
Nah, why would you say that?
And so there's a door. Oh. A column of Audra rises above you, stoic and silent, its rigid layers a measuring stick for the passing of ages. It feels to you as a thick block of ice, and you perceive buried deep in its core a dim, flickering flame, all but extinguished, yet preserved against the ravages of the elements. At your approach, the flame seems to steady and draw strength, and the layers separating it from you melt away. You are bathed in its glow, a bright beacon in the gloom. The glow seems to fade as though you had adjusted to its intensity, and where it was, Iovara seeps into existence, an idyllic shade hovering above the moist prison floor. Though ageless, she appears somehow different to you now, a slight stoop to her carriage, perhaps, or a trace of sunkenness in her eyes. There's a broad scar across her face, fibrous and wormy where flames once lapped, Unhealed, even in death. You can kind of see it on a picture. That's not cool.
Hello, sister. It has truly been ages. You are so different now from who you were then, yet much remains the same. Old troubles with a new face. What is it that has brought you here?
It would seem that I have unfinished business here.
I'd hoped after our last discussion you would find what you sought. Has it eluded you all this time? I can only guess your presence here has something to do with Theos. The energy of this place changes when he is near. I don't know what he has done, but I do know of the souls that pass through here now. They do not come by choice.
Theos diverted them from the cycle. He seeks to empower Wodica, and to blame Animancy for the damage he's caused.
After all this time, he would still stand against the tide.
You knew me when Theos did. There's something I need to know about that time.
I will tell you what I remember.
There's something about that lifetime my soul can't let go of. I need to know what it is, and I'm running out of time. I see moments from that life. Of you, of the Inquisition, of Theos.
I can see his influence, still hanging like a weight about your neck. So it always was. He had inspired something in you. We spoke of him the last time you were here also.
And that's a fucked up revelation right there. We've done this before, Savin.
Yep.
It was just after the trial. You were agitated. I think because you started to consider that what I was teaching may have...
Oh no, this was the life that betrayed her. Okay. And what was that? Iovara's mouth tightens and her brow furrows, a look of pity. Her eyes shift back and forth between each of yours, as if looking for something that would help her decide whether to speak.
That the gods aren't real.
What? Pelagina throws her head back and laughs gleefully. Of course not. It all makes sense now.
I dreaded the idea from the moment the Delimgon suggested it. And yet, it almost feels like a relief. She's not serious.
Perhaps not to her. Many are those whom the gods have scorned. This is petty retribution.
That doesn't seem possible.
What I taught was that the gods whose faith we had been spreading were not gods at all, but something else entirely. Something created by people.
Who created these gods, and for what?
They were conceived by Engwith, a society of high minds and broad concerns. Theos' people. In their time, every people worshipped its own gods. Sometimes they warred over it. After a few wars of their own, the Engwithans sought an end to it. They devoted all their energy to finding the true creators. Generation after generation, they prodded and worked the stitching of the world and unlocked its secrets. One day, they found an answer. Except the answer was no answer at all. There were no gods to be found. Or if there ever were, they were gone. It shook them, this finding. If they could discover this on their own, how long until others would? How long before war and chaos reigned over a world without consequence? But they had mastered many things in their pursuit of these answers. And with their mastery, they crafted their own gods to fill the void, and sent missionaries to the corners of the world to spread their faith.
This is why you started your own faith?
I never thought of it as faith, but I think you are right to call it that. Let the world see. Let them decide what to do. That was my faith. I became a missionary because the gods brought me hope that I wanted to bring to others. For a time, the truth sent me to a dark place. Then the day came when I realized nothing had changed, that I still had a purpose, and the purpose was the same and it was worth living for. I began questioning the other missionaries in public, exposing their parlor tricks. In time, their following became mine.
How did you discover this?
The Engwithan missionaries all knew it, but they never told the rest of us. They meant it to be a secret that died with them, and in the end, they allowed their bloodlines to fade from memory. I had been assigned to join a few of them at a temple. I found the door to their chambers closed, but the room was stone and the door thin. Their voices carried. I heard enough. I investigated the things they spoke of, and everything was there, just as they said it'd be.
Later on, after I left the Order, a few Ingwithans found my words persuasive and joined my cause. They revealed what I did not already know. Is it true, what you taught?
You asked me this once before. Nothing I can say would be any proof, and it may be certainty your soul craves. Resolution. But if you are bound for the same place Theos directs these souls, you will see for yourself, as you once did. Everyone faces this truth at one time or another. Few confront it. Few have the stomach to ask what if. And in avoiding the question, they deny themselves an identity of their own.
Yovara scans her audience in silence, her eyes thoughtful, lingering on each member of your company in turn, finding interest in things unseen.
What if all the tragedy, all the persecution, came in defense of an imposter?
But that's not... That can't be right. Aethys, he's done miracles for people.
The power of the gods is undeniable. The truth of the story they weave is not. What if it were forbidden knowledge rather than fault that earned your doom? What of your guilt?
Margren set a path for me. She is fickle and cruel, but that is how she teaches. You know nothing of the fires that have shaped me.
And what if the fires themselves were lies? Lies you told yourself to bridge the gap between experience and truth.
Beads of sweat coalesce on Durance's forehead and trickle down the sides of his face in streaming rivulets, as though he were a block of ice standing before a great pyre.
What if you had always been alone, without guidance?
Well, as poorly as I've chosen my guides, I suppose it would be a comfort to know that I'm free of them.
The freedom has always been. It was the guidance that was the illusion. What if our burdens come to us not because they are meant to be, but because they happen to be?
All the more reason to cast them off. We have no guarantees beyond this life. Better to enjoy our days while we can.
What if even mastery over all things cannot answer the most basic of questions?
I stopped asking those questions long ago. It is enough to care for those we love with the time we have in this life.
You feel the weight of Yovara's translucent eyes upon your soul. What if we can be assured of nothing? Sorry, I'm reading these. Then it is the questions that have always posed more value than their answers. Is what I would choose. Savin, just out of curiosity, which one would you choose?
I mean, I've always been a fan of, learning to love the questions themselves. So.
Yeah,
I think that would be my answer as well.
Yeah, because, I mean, the search for knowledge isn't to find an answer, it's to find the path, right? Like, we didn't figure out, how to mathematically project, or how to mathematically deduce something and then say, okay, we got it. No, we used that as the basis point to find out how to examine the answer. And then when we found that answer, we used that as the basis point to ask another question, Like, well, what was it? It's, I think it's the Dark Force, the Dark Force / Great Attractor theory of the universe, which is the universe is expanding and it's expanding ever faster all the time. And it's like, oh, well, we found that out. Cool. No, somebody sat there and said, well, why and how? That doesn't make any sense.
And what does it mean?
Exactly. And now we know about dark energy. And the Great Attractor somewhere out there that's pulling it all apart. Or that everything is
Also, you're a
spiraling around.
fucking nerd.
Yeah, sorry, I love science. Anyway.
Isn't that what brought us here?
Now get back in your locker.
Seeking the man who's haunted you for lifetimes? Who I've unwittingly followed for years?
A question is a journey, and a journey is what makes us who we are, it's true. But when one journey leads only to the next, then where may one find rest? I ask these things not to trouble you, but to show why they must be confronted. No answer is simple, but somewhere between them all lies a truth so beautiful, not even a god could conceive it. Do we not owe ourselves a chance to find our part in it?
We do. Even without assurances, there is still truth.
If that is truly what you believe, then you are a far different person than the one I knew. I've been alone here with my thoughts for so long now. I've found peace with my failures, and with my punishment. I no longer curse fate for what might have been. But there is one thing that has clawed and scraped at my mind all these years. One thing that will not be put to rest until I know. Until I understand.
For the first time, hints of doubt trace her serene visage.
I need to know why you chose to remain with the Inquisition, even after you'd learned the truth. Do you...
The last one, though.
Do you remember?
As she asked, the memory springs to your mind immediately, as though it had just happened. Your teachings were a threat to all I believed.
I never wanted that. I had hoped that what I taught would replace your beliefs with something that made you stronger. For many it did. But not all, it seems.
She shakes her head slowly, absently, in search of an answer that never comes. The reason that I chose that answer is the symmetry of it. Because you betrayed her because her teachings threatened all that you believed, and now because of the choices that I made in this sequence, I've come to accept those beliefs as true. And I really like that narrative quality. If that is the conclusion people reach once they know everything, then my purpose has been a mistake. That seems a harsh connection to draw.
I've always looked up to you, since we were children. You had heard both sides, seen everything. If not you, then who?
You're never going to be able to convince everyone of anything, true or not. There will always be dissent.
I expected dissent, but I needed to know that true faith would prevail. Perhaps I've been wrong to place so much importance on one person's actions. It was all I could do to feel like there was an answer. Even knowing what you've told me, some part of me knows it doesn't truly answer what I wished to know, nor will an eternity of silent contemplation. I will have only my guesses and suspicions, and that will have to do. And what of your understanding of our past? Are you at ease with the choice you made?
I mean, option 3 is kind of what we've been arguing the whole time, right? Basically. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I feel like the second part of that line is such a cop-out, though.
Yeah. I mean, number one is clearly the correct choice, quote-unquote, for being nice to Yovara, but also...
Yeah, no, we'll go with it. I see the world differently now than I once did. I regret what I did to you and wish for forgiveness.
I have always forgiven you. Whatever your reason, no quarrel of ideas can sever ties of blood and essence. No parting of ways can erase memories of times without worry. Times when even without gods, we were never truly alone. At first I thought this might be the source of your soul's anguish. But now I see I was mistaken. You are not divided on this matter. You have put it behind you. It is with Theos that your agony lies, in sun and shadow. Your questions are not for me, but for him. And it may be that only an answer from the mouth of Theos himself will satisfy your needs. Yet if there is anything I can tell you that would be of use, ask and you shall know.
Why has Theos done all this?
He cares only for the secret he keeps locked away. He destroys anyone who might discover it, no matter their chances.
He's literally just doing all of this to prevent people from finding out that the gods aren't real.
That's why he's always favored Woodica. It isn't in her love of promises or justice. It's her disregard for the rules. Her willingness to do what is necessary. To Theos, she's not a deity, but an ally with which to conspire. When her power waxes, she does as she pleases with this realm, as well as hers. And she wants that secret guarded as much as he. If Theos succeeds, there will be a shift in the balance of power among the gods. Woodica was vanquished once, when the other gods decided she had gone too far, and her power diminished. With this infusion, there is no telling what she will do. The only certainty is that there will be chaos in their realm, as well as ours.
So, he's not trapping the souls, he's sending them to Woodica to power her. Gotcha. Do you know what it is I need from Theos?
I could not say for sure. But you have been to Sun and Shadow before, and it came at a crossroads in your life, when much of what you knew had been upended. I have to believe it will come to you there. Your concerns then were of loyalty and trust and the gods. Everything I told you seemed to send you further into doubt. His words mattered to you when you knew him then. After you and I spoke, you went immediately to seek him out. Perhaps you simply sought confirmation from the man you trusted. If something from that time still troubles you, it may be something he told you then, or refused to tell you. He keeps secrets better than any in this world.
This place, Sun and Shadow, what is it? I could tell you what I believe, but again, it would be no proof. I have only what I have seen, and what others have told me about it. There is only one man who can tell you now, who knows it to a certainty, and you shall face him soon enough. I will leave you to see it for yourself, make your own judgments. Better for your soul that way, I think. How can I get Theos to tell me what I need to know?
You will not find a more resolute being on all of Eora. There is no offer you could make, nor spell you could cast, nor pain you could inflict that would make him reveal what he hides. But I see you have become a watcher in this life. Perhaps in defeat, when he can no longer defend himself, you might learn something from him.
Are you bound here until the end of time?
In a matter of speaking. This is Braeth Yamen, the court of the penitents. Souls are confined here until they repent. They must beg the forgiveness of a god, pledge their soul to them, and they will be lifted from this place to the world above. In truth, they receive leniency, but not true mercy. The spite of Woodica is eternal. They linger above, at the side of the old court, and are not permitted to leave the island, forever severed from the cycle.
Those are the spirits that we saw above. Burning on the pyre. They repented and they're still stuck here. That's horrible.
This prison was full once in the days of the Inquisition. But time weathers all things, even will. I'm the only tenant who remains. Yet, I feel their presence strongly now, as it was in the beginning. You have brought many of them here. They cry out for the judgment of Theos. You have struck some bargain with the gods, then.
The other gods aid me because they want Theos destroyed. I owe them no debt.
They aid you because they would bend you to their own purposes. Engwith built gods from ideals, and an ideal on its own is a grotesque and vicious thing. But these souls, these forgiven the gods have bequeathed you like chattel. They were loyal followers in life. They will be with you to the very end.
Why don't you repent? You could be free of this place.
Last time someone asked me that, I was bound to an iron wheel with a broken spine. There are many things I've come to doubt about the choices I made in life, but that trial was my one moment of certainty, even without a chorus of gods to tell me I had been right. The gods need to be reminded that we have a spirit, and that spirit is proof against their power. They have the power to manipulate and confuse and ruin us, but not to change our will. I will remain here until the world crumbles and fades from existence, with joy in my heart, knowing I've shown them what they truly are.
It's time for me to go.
Theos will not wait for you. If you do not catch up to him now, you may never find him again.
I mean, she sounded pretty convinced of her choice when she said she would stay here until the world crumbles. I don't want her to just repent to help me. And this is needlessly cruel.
It's not really. It's just the truth, right?
Right.
Number 2 is... like, she's serving no purpose down here. Nobody remembers. Even Theos has probably forgotten her.
Your defiance here is an illusion. You're a slave to the gods, bound to their rules, stuck in their system. Your continued existence is proof of the gods' dominion over all of us. You notice a bond now, one that has always been, an interleaving of her essence with yours at the extremities of your perception. You are tied to this woman's spirit, and you can feel a measure of control over it, as though you were its shepherd. What are you suggesting? I can make you cease to exist. God, that seems horrible. I mean,
is that or be stuck in prison until the end of the world?
Yeah, I can.
To the heat death of the universe.
I can disintegrate your soul, make you cease to exist. Then I would be no different than the other souls the gods have broken in this place. I do not wish to stop fighting them.
Brutal. Okay.
It's a cruel fate to waste all this time to be reunited with my only sister, only to be forced to part soon after. But then, what is life but a series of brief encounters with those we love?
Yep, that was a different line read.
If ever we should meet again, in this life or any other, I hope to find you at peace.
Well, since you're stuck here for all eternity, I don't think we'll be meeting again.
Unless you come back here again in another life.
That's entirely possible. Hey, camping supplies. That's helpful.
And I distinctly remember, like, being able to help her out in some way, but I don't know how I did it.
People have followed for thousands of years.
Bed's got something to say, and Alof.
Well, doesn't that just beat all? Here I was, wondering all this time whether all these terrible things were people's fault or the gods. Turns out they might be the same thing. Wonder how things would have gone different 15 years ago if the Raid Sarens had been told their god was made in some forge or kiln someplace. Would we still have gone to war?
People were starving. They'd have rebelled sooner or later.
I could see the rebellion still happening, but I don't know that they would have invaded.
He looks down at the ground, drumming his fingers against his side restlessly. When he speaks again, it seems half to himself.
I don't know. When Woden left for war, we, had a fight. As brothers will.
What about?
About him going off to war. He was set on it. But my parents warned him. They said you get a new country with every trip across the border, but your god, you only get the one. Me? I didn't know who was right. All I knew was I didn't want him to go. It's the same for families as it is for gods. You only get the one. I said every vicious thing I could think of, trying to change his mind. He brushed it off. Just got me madder, of course, him being so calm. He said I should come with him, but he'd understand if I didn't want to. I told him he'd better be able to face his god one day and answer for what he'd done. He said he'd keep that in mind. And then he was gone. By the time I'd cooled off, months had passed. One morning it dawns on me that my brother always knew better than me. If he was so sure of what he was doing, then I should be there with him. I packed my things and was on the road that same morning. course, what I didn't know then was he'd already changed his mind. By that time, he was dead on that field.
Do you think he went to Widewind because of what you'd said to him?
Crossed my mind. You live in a place like Gilded Vale. You don't have a whole lot else to do other than think about things you don't want to think about. I hope that wasn't it. I hope he went there because it's what he thought was right. But it seems I'm not meant to know.
So if you'd left with him, you'd have known why he changed his mind.
If I'd have left with him, we'd both be dead, so I don't know why I bother thinking about it. I found my own way in the end, and it wasn't my brother's and it wasn't my God's. I don't know if it was right. But I couldn't abide what Widewind was doing to his own. God or not, I don't regret it. Whether Widewind was Aothis, well, it hardly seems to matter after what we just heard. And all these questions I've been trying to figure out. I think I just miss my brother.
He smiles faintly, and when he breathes, the air seems to flow more freely through his lungs. Let's be on our way.
Still one more mess we gotta straighten out. Come on, then. I still owe you one.
Alright, before we talk to Aloth, this episode's really long, so we will continue this next time on Character Select. But thank you very much for watching. Make sure to click that like button down below if you liked it. And Savin!
Hello.
God's not real.
Nietzsche was right.
Now we just gotta find an abyss to stare into.
I mean, you already stared into the abyss. You're down at the bottom now.